I can't. Oh, I'm so pissed.
We're live.
Hi.
Hi.
Did that I'm so pissed be live right
I
there?
don't know if they caught that one.
Well, I am really because I just was trying to go to Facebook Live, and last time I had my iPod, horizontal,
Right.
and it was fine. But today they're telling me that I can't do it that way. So I'm going to try this, and it's probably going to fall all over the place. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work tonight. So we're going to have to probably mess up this. I'm going to just finish that. Thanks a lot, Facebook. They're just messing with me all day
They
today.
are.
They are. Anyway, happy Monday.
Yeah.
Happy
Street Monday.
Happy Winephabet Street Monday. It is a pretty hot day today. How's it in Jersey?
Actually, it's nice. It was a
Yeah.
really nice day. It wasn't like extremely humid. It was really nice, and it was my first day off since June 26th.
There you go.
So I went to the pool around 12:30. Fell asleep in the chair. My girlfriend had to wake me up at 3:45. She's like, "Dad, let's go home."
Wow, and you didn't even fry. You didn't do anything. Were you under?
No, I was out in the sun. It's the lotion, the sunscreen I use.
Yeah.
I'm diligent about that.
Well, so am I. It just doesn't work on my skin. But
yeah, I got better skin than you. Sorry.
Yeah. We're going to talk wine.
Yes.
But before we get into anything, we are going to drink wine because I need wine today after what.
All right. So what is your wine?
So my wine is
Innocent
this guy here, which is Innocent Bystander. And it is a Pinot Noir. And they do make I think they do Sauvignon Blanc probably also. Nice. So what do you have?
Shoe fly.
Shoe fly. Also
Pinot Noir.
There is and that is to be well expected from the Yarra Valley.
Yeah. It's a cool climate region.
Yes.
So Pinot Noirs and Chardonnays.
Yep. All right. So here's my favorite sound ever.
Yes.
And this is.
What year is yours?
That's what I just was looking up. I think it's a 2017. I think it is.
Mine's 16.
Because I think online they said it was a 16, but Mike called me. Yeah, mine's a 17. Mike called me and said, "You told me 16. Does it matter the vintage?" Like, no. So mine.
I didn't care. I said I just needed a wine from the Yarra Valley. I didn't care what it was, and
just yeah. So this is like super light, but
mine is a little. It's not super light.
I mean, I guess if I was looking at it, if I was doing a blind tasting, I would go to Pinot right off the bat.
I would know it was a Pinot, yeah.
But it's a little on the garnet side.
Mine's got more plum looking.
Yeah, all right. So, slancha.
Cheers. Look at you. You got the stemless now, and I got the stem.
California living, we're stemless here. Mostly because we did have stemmed glasses, and every time I come back to California, we've got less of them. Mike keeps breaking them.
Well, I went and grabbed a glass and I'm like, I'm going with this. This is a nice Pinot kind of
glass. Yes. All right, so let's bring out Elmo.
Yes.
We're moving our body to the ABC. It's nearby. It's far away. Now clap your hands. To the letter of the day, clap, clap. What's the letter? Clap, clap. What's the letter? Clap, clap.
All right. Welcome to the Yarra Valley.
Yes.
Oh, I would like to.
I would love to go.
I would too. I would too. Ever since Lord of the Rings, I have wanted to go to New Zealand, and you know,
It's in Australia.
No, Lord of the Rings is New. Oh, never mind.
Yarra Valley's Australia.
I know. Never mind. You know why? Because I have always wanted to go to New Zealand. There is logic there. I've always wanted to go to New Zealand, but Mike says if we go to New Zealand, we have to go to Australia also. And
that makes sense because you're down under. You might as well take advantage. And I'd like to go to Tanzania too.
Oh yeah, yes, I would love that. I would love that. So, anyways, do you want to get going into it? The history?
Well, why don't I introduce myself? So I'll introduce myself.
I am fried today.
I've been in the sun all day, taking advantage of my day off, and this is my third bottle of wine.
Oh my God! And you're more lucid than I am.
I went to the pool and I had a Left Coast rosé.
Ah, very nice.
And I came home and had, one of my best friends is living next door to me while she built her house across the bay. And then we went to the pool together, and then her and her husband came over, and we had a bottle of Jack here. And so now here I am. I ate dinner in between.
Okay, maybe my problem is that I haven't had any alcohol today, and I've had a stressful day of social media world. So I need to own. I need to own.
And I'll introduce myself.
Okay.
So I'm Debbie Quindo. I'm known as the Hudson Valley Wine Goddess. I'm a wine blogger, a wine writer, and I am a co-owner of a restaurant in Stone Harbor, New Jersey called Kitchen 330. And I am an author of Tapping the Hudson Valley, Day Trips and Weekend Itineraries to the Hudson Valley. And I'm co-owner of Happy Bitch Wines. And am I missing something? I can't keep up with myself these days.
I know. You are super busy. I think you hit it all.
All right. So, and that's me in a nutshell. Lori, you're on.
So me in a nutshell, I'm Lori. My husband and I own Dracaena Wines, specializing in Cabernet Franc from the Paso Robles district. We just did our final blending for our 2017 Cabernet Franc. So that will be going to bottle at the end of July, beginning of August. I am founder of Cab Franc Day, and I have now started the blog and podcast have been separated to Exploring the Wine Glass. So you can find me on all of the social channels under Exploring the Wine Glass, which is, podcast and blog related, or Dracaena Wines, which is all about Paso Robles wines. And I think that's about it for me. So, all right. Michael wants to know
how
many fingers are up. So there you go. So let's get into the history.
Well, Michael, it's been spread over since noontime. So
okay. See, it's not so bad then. So let's get into the history of the Yarra Valley.
All right, so that's
is Australia, not New Zealand.
Australia. So I'm looking here for slide presentations. Bear with me. Wait till you see my food pairings. Ooh. You won't eat any of it.
Oh, I probably
not. All right, so we've got Yarra Valley. So the Yarra Valley is located just outside of Melbourne. It's about 90 minutes outside Melbourne. And it was once occupied by I can't even pronounce this. I always have these, you know me, I can't pronounce anything. Wurundjeri, who take their name from the Wurrung language, the word Wu-run, meaning monogam. So the Wurundjeri are witchetty grub people, and they were there long before the European settlers established themselves in the 1930s. So that's a picture of the natives. I would tend to say the Aborigines, but I don't know if that's correct.
I don't know, but that's a big
dog. What?
It's a big dog.
That is. That is. So the Yarra River runs through the valley, and the Yarra River, Barungung, as it's known to the indigenous Wurundjeri people, means place of mist and shadows.
Ooh.
And the stories say that the Yarra River was etched into the landscape by the ancestral creator spirit Bunjil, and that is the wedge-tail eagle.
That's interesting because the Finger Lakes have been carved in by whatever god there was then, and the other lakes are by the god. It's every region almost has their religious lore, and the mirrors are all handprints or claw filings or something of their gods.
And I'm sure I'm pronouncing the native, and I apologize, the native Rwandese. I know I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, so I apologize. So in the 1950s, the Yarra Valley was on the route to the goldfields of Warburton and the center of the timber industry. Going back into the 1890s, it was the center of the timber industry. And the region evolved as the primary food production region for Melbourne. And this is actually an old gold cave.
Oh.
Where they would go and, look for gold and stuff.
They need to board that better because people like me would be going in there.
Yeah, you're not kidding. So the Yarra Valley is Victoria's first wine growing district, and it dates back 180 years. The first vines were planted in 1838 by the Rye brothers on what is known today as Chateau Yering. The first vineyard, known as Yering Station, produced the first Yarra Valley wine in 1845, and it was made by James Dardell. And then in 1950, it was sold to Paul de Castella. And Paul's favorite, this is really interesting. So Paul's favorite drink was Pommard, a Burgundy, Pinot Noir. And he didn't really have an interest at all in planting or making wine. And one evening, so he was a very wealthy person. So one evening, the servant announced that there was no more Pommard left. So what to do? Oh my gosh, panic stricken. Everyone was really angry. And the servant himself had worked on the rye vine plantings. And he appeared with a jug from the rye plantings of the rye wine, and he poured it, and everybody absolutely loved it. And it was at that point when Paul decided that the vineyard and everything must be expanded.
Okay.
So Paul's brother, the Baron Julien du Paris, joined him, and they started to export the local wines to the British and the European markets. And in 1889, the Yering Station was the only wine from the Southern Hemisphere to win a Grand Prix, which would be a medal, at the Paris Expedition.
Oh, wow.
And then in 1921, and this is where it gets kind of sad. In 1921, the wine production ceased in the Yarra Valley. Demand for fortified wine increased, economic depression, and adverse natural conditions took place. And in 1937, you saw a lot of the vineyards convert to pasture and cows and all that stuff. And then replanting began in 1963 when Reg Egan replanted vines and established Wantirra Estate. And then Dr. Caritas who had a doctorate in plant physiology from Oxford. He made the first commercial vineyard in the region after 50 years in 1973. And he became known for his bold, unique, and charismatic wines. And he was an innovator in the vineyard planting in unirrigated soil, low-yielding vines during a time of high yields and irrigation. And his pursuit of high-quality, cool climate vine styles became the hallmark of the Yarra Valley and actually played a role in the evolution of Australia's wine over the last 20 years. So there's the Winephabet estate.
Okay.
I probably should have flipped. Let me just, see, there's that balloon.
There's that balloon.
Let me just
I think I had a different balloon, but it was the same concept.
Yeah. So this is the Winephabet estate. And then in the 1980s, they saw a lot of development down under in the Yarra Valley. Moet established their Australian base in 1996. Domaine Chardon established Coldstream. And I was really looking for like Coldstream because that would have been way cool. In 1989, the Yarra Station, Victoria's first vineyard, was replanted and the original buildings on the site were restored. And between 1990 and 2000, there were 40 new wineries established in the Yarra Valley. In 2006, the first operational Yarra Valley winery opened in town center. They had and that's where Giant Steps Innocent Bystander came to. So it's Innocent Bystander is fairly a young wine.
Yeah.
The Yarra Valley is considered to be one of the pioneer areas for development of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay in Australia. With the hilly region and the variation of altitude, it creates different climates and exposure. And this allows many varieties to excel. And today, the focus on site expression and fruit purity. Chardonnay and Pinot Noir are considered the royalty of the Yarra Valley, but they do produce Cabernet Sauvignon and Shiraz. They also thrive in the lower, warmer sites in the region. But they're pretty much a cool climate region, and they're right now experimenting with other grapes like Nebbiolo, Arnez, Gamay, and Gruner. Harvest, they're kind of the reverse as us. So harvest takes place mid-February with Pinot Noir and finishes in April with Cabernet Sauvignon. And it's very similar to our harvest, September through November. And today it's one of the world's leading cool climate wine growing regions, producing classic style wines in many varieties. And it's also Victoria's premier food and wine tourism destination. So that's what I got on the history.
All right. So we are moving on to general characteristics. And there's going to be some repeat here. Okay, so the Yarra Valley is named after, as you said, the Yarra River that runs throughout the region. It begins at about 90 kilometers east of Melbourne City, and if you have a river, you need to have a mouth that you open up into a larger part of water, and that mouth feeds into the Port Phillip Bay. So since the topography of the region varies immensely, obviously so do the soil types. So there are two basic soil types that are in the area. The traditional areas on the northern side of the valley are gray to gray-brown in color, and on the surface range from loamy sand to clay loam, and in consistency with the red-brown clay subsoils. Frequently, these soils are frequently impregnated with rock, so it's not easy digging in there. There's quite a bit of rock in the region. Most are relatively acidic and low in fertility, but generally these types of soils drain very well. The other major soil type is like beautiful. I have never seen anything like this in real person, and I would love it. But the other major soil type is much younger in origin, and it crumbles extremely easily. It is brightly red colored volcanic soil. So this immensely
Wow,
deep,
that's beautiful.
right? So the immensely deep and fertile soil is found predominantly in Seville, Hoddles Creek, and elsewhere on the southern, so the Warburton side of the valley. So the northern side has the soil we're used to seeing, those clays and the loam, and then the southern side has this red volcanic soil. So obviously the wines from those regions are going to be extremely different. The Yarra Valley is relatively cooler in relation to rest of Australia's viticultural regions. So the region is actually cooler than Bordeaux, but warmer than Burgundy. And you can see this by the longitude and latitude, right? So Yarra Valley is south, where the other two are north, okay? But by their latitude and longitude, you can see how their temperatures are going to vary. And as anybody who has studied any bit of wine, one of the things that you should know is that the majority of the wine regions are all located between the 30 and 50 degrees latitude, of which they are. All right, so we're 37 to 47. So they are, all three of those are falling within there. But the 37 is significantly closer. Okay. In the Yarra Valley, the vineyard elevations vary from about 50 meters to 430 meters above sea level. Okay. Rainfall is winter and spring dominant. With the summer, it's relatively cool, dry, and humid. There is limited maritime influence. There is only a small diurnal temperature change, and that is directly linked to the proximity of the Southern Ocean. So the Yarra Valley is in the Southern Hemisphere, like you mentioned. So harvest typically commences in mid-February with the Pinot, and Cabernet Sauvignon is usually the last one to be brought in April, and everything is flip-flopped, right? So the Northern Hemisphere, you think September to November. Frost is rarely a problem, but it can affect those lowest vineyards, those 50 meters above sea level vineyards, but it's really not a concern for them. With a 7-month growing season and a rainfall of only like 750 to 950 millimeters of rain, and usually it's on the lower end than the higher end, so much closer to the 750 than the 950. The restricted water holding capacity in some soils, irrigation is absolutely positively required. They need to irrigate their vines. Although the extent of it does vary between from producer to producer. Pinot Noir is the grape variety that produces the most sought after red wines from the Yarra Valley and produces the greatest diversity of flavors and styles. Now this is a little bit geeky, so I kind of apologize, but I found it fascinating. So the cooler vineyard sites have the earlier picking and the richer volcanic soils all contribute to producing more of the perfumed style Pinot Noirs in the area. So those Pinots from those areas, from the cooler vineyard sites, are not so much about the body, but instead the delicacy and the restraint that they're going to have. Styles that are more closely identified with fruit from the warmer parts of the Yarra Valley, and perhaps because of winemaking methods, they are more focused on pulling everything out of the skins in those areas. So you can do a gentler press, and that's really not what they're, in the cooler areas, they're looking to do a gentler press. In these warmer areas, the winemakers are more apt to really just get everything and anything they can out of it. So it's going to be a more harsher press. The soils are likely to be clay and loam over sedimentary rock. So the base of the hills and the ranges vineyards have these alluvial deposits. So warmer weather, if you're looking for Pinots from the Yarra Valley, if you're looking at the warmer vineyard sites, they're going to be bigger and bolder Pinots. Whereas if you take the cooler vineyard sites, it's going to be more delicate and more aromatic. So granite is really not common at all in the Yarra Valley, but if you can find a vineyard site that has granite soils, these are going to produce that mineral, that bone dry, fine minerality Pinots that truly are giving you that earth and that mineral sensation that a lot of Pinots or Pinot lovers are looking for. In addition to Cabernet Sauvignon, they do produce Cabernet Sauvignon, Cab blends, and Syrah or Shiraz. But Pinot is by far the #1 red. Now, on the other spectrum, right, wherever there is Pinot, there is Chardonnay. Okay? These wines are much lighter in weight and much less oaky than the older style of Australian Chardonnays. So back, years ago, the winemakers really were trying to make big, bold, hefty Chardonnays. And as the time has come through, what happened was the people didn't want them anymore. They were going by the wayside. So the winemakers have changed their winemaking styles, and they're now trying to have less impact or less influence from the oak and allowing you to actually taste the grapes that are there. So the wines are made from grapes that are typically picked at a lower level of sugar ripeness and a higher level of acid. The aromas and flavors are much more citrus. So you're thinking early harvest, you're thinking stone fruits, minerals, floral essences. Warmer sites in the Yarra Valley, those at the lower altitudes tend to produce fruit that have a tendency to favor the bigger and richer style. And in those areas, you're going to have a higher oak influence, and you're going to have riper stone fruit flavors. In addition to the Chardonnay, they also produce Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Gris or Pinot Grigio. So that is what you can expect from the wines of the Yarra Valley. So very important.
I have a question, and I don't know the answer to it, to be quite honest. He wants to know what percentage of the world's production of wine comes from 30 to 50 degree latitude.
Oh, it's like 98%. That's just where everything is. You have the few outliers, but it's way up there. That's what you said. Where for every rule there's the exception of the rule, but between that 30 and 50, it's definitely the majority. You're in the 90% of wine regions. So, all right.
So shall we talk about our wines?
Yes.
I'm kind of enjoying this.
So we're flip-flop from last week.
Last week, yeah. I'm kind of liking this shoe fly.
Mike, you have the same wine I have, Michael. So what is your thought on this innocent bystander? While I take a sip.
This actually, I'll be honest, the Pinot tastes like a lot of Oregon Pinots.
Oh, this does not.
No?
No. All right.
This has a little spice on the finish.
No.
This has yours is a lot darker than mine.
It's mine is very garnet. It's a light garnet, but it's a garnet.
I'm really liking mine.
Plum. This has plum. So it's kind of dark fruit. focused, but there's a little bit of, I don't want to say smoke, braised meat type of thing, but it's very unilateral. It's just like there's not much coming out of the nose, so it's definitely, in terms of intensity, it's a low aroma.
I get a lot of cherry.
Michael has got it spot on. It's bitter.
Really?
And you put it when it's on your palate, it kind of separates on the palate, and it has a finish that just leaves a bitterness to it. Michael, I would say spice on a little bit on the nose, but not a typical Pinot spice. Like
this is really good. This has got
cardamom,
cherry, spice, and it's got like hints of black pepper on the finish.
No, and
I'm really liking this one.
No, there's no cherry on this. This is a dark fruit. I wouldn't say cherry.
I get cherry. I'm really liking it. Mine's really nice.
It's actually rather, I would say, medium minus in body. The tannin, medium minus. The acidity.
I got a bit of acidity on it.
Yeah, there's actually quite a bit of acidity on it. But there's just this bitter, like if you bit into a zest, into a grind, not grind. You bit into
hardly any fruit. Never had a Pinot Noir like this. Mine, I'm liking mine. Shoe fly. Isn't there a song about shoe fly? Shoe fly, don't fly with me, or something like that?
I don't know. There's a brewery.
I'm really liking this. It's got nice fruit. It's got nice spice.
Yeah,
it's nice.
This is pretty much dimensional.
Nice acid. Nice acid to it. What a switch! The past 2 times you've had the winter wine.
Yeah. It's very unidimensional. It's plum on the nose, and then on the palate, it's like literally biting into a rind or something. It's like
I got cherry and strawberry on the nose. I mean, it's got a nice aroma.
Yeah, Michael is agreeing with me. He's like, or unidimensional or flat.
Yeah, flat.
It's just there. How when you're learning, light or medium bodied or whatever,
right.
You say, compare it to the milks. This is just like milk. Like it's just there. There's no flavor.
Mine is light bodied. It's not. I can't say it's medium, but
I would go the 2% milk. 2% milk for this.
It's nice. It really is.
That's good.
Michael said sour milk.
Sour milk. Michael is digging this as much as I am.
And I'm liking mine, so go find some shoe fly.
All right.
And I can tell you though, I looked up shoe fly. I looked it up on the web, and they don't really go into detail, to be honest with you, about the wine. It was founded in 2003, and they talk about their winemaking team, Ben Riggs, who's a native of McLaren Vale. They do source all their fruit from various vineyards, but they really didn't go into, like, if there's, who really owns it and who's the passion behind it.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of disappointed. There was very little about it.
So the first thing I have written about my wine is really weird website. It talks about itself as an object. So it doesn't say, innocent bystander, blah, 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 blah. It just said, it uses it. So it, instead of the winemaker's name or the winery's name. So its history dates back 100 years. Its true wine is that, it's historical.
Wow.
But I take that back. So they started about 100 years ago, and it was the Chardonnay, like how I was mentioning how the old Chardonnay of the Yarra Valley was this big,
Yep.
right? And now recently they started to rejuvenate and make more sense of the world's Chardonnay. So within the last 15 years, apparently Innocent Bystander Chardonnay has really helped them progress. So, because according to them, it is because of the Chardonnays past 15 years that really has made Innocent Bystander become something. It prides themselves on the Pinot and Chard of the region. They have a cool mountainside vineyards and warmer valley floor sites, and they pick from all of these regions to provide the complexity of the flavors, which this does not have. So they do also source their fruit from other wine regions. So they make a King Valley Prosecco and Pinot Gris. They make a Swan Hill Moscato and a Tempranillo from Heathcote. And according to them, they do not believe in overworking their wines. So that is what I have. Now, according to what other people are tasting, this, and Michael, you're going to laugh at this. It's supposed to have flavors of, according to them, I should say, it's supposed to have flavors of dark cocoa powder, poached cherries, truffle, and fresh tobacco. And then they say the palate is ripe cherries and cherry compote. And I get none of that. There is not a drop of chocolate essence,
What year is yours?
Palate 17.
Mine's 16.
It's plum on the nose and just discombobulated acid and tannin on the palate.
Oh, that's too bad.
But you know what? I'm 2 for 3 over the last 3 months, so I'll take it.
Well, I'm 1 for 1. 1 for 3. 1 for 3.
Yeah.
1 for 3. Shall we go into food pairings?
Sure.
Wait till you see this.
I have this in my hand, and I don't even really want to take another sip.
Oh, I want to pour you a glass of mine.
That's what I wanted to do.
I'm liking this. This is really nice.
That's what I wanted to do with my Zino Mavro.
I'm really enjoying this, and when we're done, I might just finish the bottle. I mean,
there you go.
I don't know. Then I'll be 3 for 3 for today. So for the food pairings, I'm going to tell you, I went native Australia.
Okay.
So instead of, in Australia, they make wines, you got your Pinot Noirs and you got your Chardonnays. And
is anything served on a boomerang?
No.
No? Okay.
But I wanted to, so you can get your basic pairings with the Pinot Noirs and the Chardonnays. But I went to the country of origin for this. So we have an emu and warrigal greens salad. Yes. Emu actually has a lot of iron content, and it's fat-free and low in cholesterol. And the Australian native animal works well when smoked and served cold or as on a pizza topping. And they also do beef pies with the emu. And they smoke it, and it's
okay. You have emu this month.
This is an emu salad.
I guess it's better than the squirrel I was recommending last month.
And here we have a kangaroo and mushroom dark ale pie.
No wonder why the kangaroos punch people.
Oh, wait, I got to go back to the emu. The emu goes well with a Cab Shiraz blend. Okay. Let me go back to the emu.
I've fed emus. I don't ever want to kill an emu.
So this goes well with the Cabernet and Shiraz blend.
Okay.
So then we have the kangaroo mushroom and dark ale pie. That goes really well with the Shiraz. And they do grow Shiraz in the Yarra Valley. And then we have a grilled lime and garlic balmain bugs. So they're similar to lobster, Lori. They're similar to lobster. Don't get grossed out.
They look like shrimp. They're kind of curled.
A species of a slipper lobster that lives in the shallow waters around Australia, and they have no claws, and they only they only have the shell, the tail. So this would taste good with Chardonnay. And we have barbecue snags. Snags are like sausages.
Okay.
Okay, and they go really well with Shiraz. Hey, I dug deep here into the native things.
Good.
Braised wallaby shanks.
Wallaby.
And they have a delicate flavor, and they're less than 1% fat. They're very lean, and they go great with Pinot Noir. And I can see that going well with Pinot Noir. So let me see what I have next. Lemon myrtle crusted crocodile. And this will go good with a Chardonnay or a Gruner. Crocodile is low in fat and high in protein. And you cook it similar to the way you cook pork and chicken. And it tastes great when it's grilled. And it's moist but bland, so you need to season it well.
Sure it's not an alligator?
It's crocodile. And we have macadamia crusted barramundi with a pineapple slaw. And barramundi is, a fish. I actually have heard about it in the restaurant. And it'll go well with the Chardonnay. So those are native foods to Australia. Is your mouth watering? How did I totally ruin your appetite?
Oh my
God! Ruin your appetite, Lori. I'm really liking this Pinot. Do you want some?
I do. Wouldn't that be awesome if I could just put my glass up here? And if you could,
this is really nice. There you go.
That would be so awesome.
Here you go, Michael. Here's a glass for you too. I feel bad for you guys.
Michael wants you to share his slides with him because they're doing.
Okay, no problem, Michael. I'll forward you the slide thing.
He wants to mess with it with the chef.
No problem. No problem. I'll email them over to you.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have nightmares of those foods attacking me.
I had a good time. I was like, okay, so here we got Chardonnay, Pinot Noir. I got to go with the native. What is native to Australia?
Disappointed. One of those food things should have been served on a boomerang. At least one.
Sorry.
At least one.
Sorry.
But at least they didn't have anything that was, what do they call the dogs? The wild dogs? Because I would have flipped out if you had served something. What are they called?
I don't know.
Whatever. All right. No boomerang, so I'm kind of upset. All right.
You got kangaroo, though.
Yeah.
An alligator. Emu.
I know. That's just strange stuff right there. Strange stuff. All right. So we're going to move on from those wonderful food pairings. And you know what? Not sad, but there's probably restaurants around here in the big cities that make all of those dishes. I'm sure. But we are going to move on to fast facts about the Yarra Valley. Mine are nowhere near as interesting as those food dishes. All right. Fact number 1, the Yarra Valley is located just 50 kilometers from Melbourne, which is the closest towns being Yarra Glen and Lilydale. Fact number 2, the Yarra Valley is considered a cool climate region. The temperature is usually mild and consistent. The spring is the wettest time with the most rain falling during the month. The cooler months also see considerable rainfall. The summers are actually very dry. Fact number 3, the Yarra Valley has a population of around 40,000 people. So I really didn't know if that was a lot of people or not a lot of people.
40,000? That's, I don't know.
Yeah, I had no clue, so I did a comparison to Bordeaux. Let's play a little game. How many people do you think live in Bordeaux?
How many? I have no idea.
More or less?
No idea. Probably less.
279,000 people live in Bordeaux.
Wow.
So apparently the Yarra Valley does not have a lot of people in it. I'm guessing, it's pretty spread out. I think it's very, not so densely populated. Okay, fact number 4. If you are going to visit, some important road rules in Australia. First, you are driving on the left, which apparently, I thought this was kind of a cool thing. Like, it shows you how many people or what countries drive on the left versus the right type thing. So you are going to drive on the left in Australia. You must stick to the speed limit. You have to carry your driver's license and wear a seatbelt. And the blood alcohol limit is 0.05. And at all times, not just holidays, at all times, there are random breath and speed tests taking place. And the fines are extremely hefty if you get caught. So 0.05, don't even have a sip of wine. Don't even have a sip of wine. And fact number 5. The 2 best known varietals for the Yarra Valley are Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, although there are others that are increasing in popularity. There's your fast 5 facts.
So next, I lost my train of thought. Third bottle. What can I say?
Yeah, third bottle.
No, but I was going to say, down under, the driving thing, I think it's because it used to be a British, part of the British
right
rule and everything.
Yeah, they've just kept that going. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a place I really do want to go to before my time is up on this earth.
I do too. I do. I really want to go to New Zealand.
That's too.
I really want to go, but like we said earlier, not going to New Zealand and not stopping off at Australia.
Right.
So, and I don't want to go till I can spend like a 2 weeks there, because I think that's what you need. So
that's the third. So Michael just posted the total population of France is 67 million, and the population of Australia is 24.6 million.
Wow. Well, thank you for that point, for those numbers, Michael. That's a huge, huge difference.
Yeah, that's a third.
Yeah. When you go to France, it's definitely a densely populated area. But I guess Australia, I've never been there, but I guess Australia.
I've never been there, but I had family there.
Always widespread.
Yeah, I have family down, in Sydney.
Oh, well, what are we waiting for?
I know, I got to go before they die. Sorry, Judy. Sorry. She's, because my great aunt died a couple years back. And so Judy's down there. So I've got to go before her time is up.
Yeah, I sense a girls' trip coming on.
Let's go. And we'll do Winephabet Street from Australia. How cool would that be?
Would that be? Yes.
How about when you retire?
All right.
The time. We'll go down.
Could that be my retirement present to myself?
Yeah, we'll go.
All right, cool.
All right, look out, Australia. Winephabet Street's
Absolutely,
coming
my
to you.
plus
And
one.
what year
Come
is this?
on.
2021?
2021. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Not too far.
Yeah.
Not too far. Absolutely, Michael. Three's the charm. We can all go. Absolutely.
Yeah. No problem. You can be our plus one.
All right. So, Debbie, tell us about next month's Winephabet Street.
So next month's Winephabet Street, and I'm going to give you the link. It's going to be Zinfandel.
Cannot believe we're at Z.
You know what? This will mark, our first season. Our first season was what? How long have we been doing this?
26 months.
Yeah. But so 26 months. So that's 2 years. We've been doing this for 2 years?
2 years and 2 months.
Shit, that's a long time.
No. It feels like yesterday we just said, hey, doesn't it feel like yesterday?
Sure, I'll do this with you.
I have this idea. Who wants to join me?
I'm like, sure, I'll do this with you.
Yeah.
And
Debbie, Michael wants to know if there was that a sobriety question before you.
No, but congratulations to us. I know you don't like yours, but I'm digging mine.
Mancha. We'll really have to celebrate next month with Zinfandel.
Mm-hmm.
It's honestly one of my favorite grape varietals ever. Mike and I have loved Zinfandel for a long time. Before Zinfandel was cool to love, we have loved it.
I've always liked Zinfandel.
And we've seen it come kind of full circle. When we liked it, it was somewhat tame, it was decent. And then it started going up and, it was blow your, palate away Zinfandel. And now it's back to kind of.
There's different, different areas have different types
of
Zinfandel. There's the more austere and then there's the fruit forward.
Right.
I actually have 2 Zinfandels for next time, like comparable, like, oh my gosh.
Side by side?
Yeah. I have a 2000. I have to go. It's behind me, but I do have a vertical. I have a vertical.
A vertical. Okay, so a vertical. Yeah. Okay. Well, I actually just bought 4 Zinfandels this week while I was in Paso. I was down in Paso twice this week, and I bought Zinfandel both times while I was down there. So I will.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much.
Gosh, thank you.
He said, by the way, this is one of the best podcasts or whatever, and I enjoy living daylight out of this. Thank you both. And I think so many people could learn and appreciate the wine world, and you too. Thanks again.
Oh,
thank you so much, Michael.
So much, Michael. That like warms our hearts. It really does.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do a little favor then. If you can rate and review us in the podcast,
each of our podcasts, because I know you have your podcast thing and I've got my podcast thing.
Right. And iTunes just loves to see reviews, and we get pushed up the chart of allowing other people to find us if people provide reviews for us.
Is that how it works?
That's how it works. And it's really kind of stupid because there's podcasts that pop up that aren't even podcasts anymore. But because they had reviews back in the day, they're still there. So as people can give reviews, it really does help other people find us. And it does nothing for us. We don't get money for it. We don't do anything. All it does is if you go to iTunes and you type in wine, the Hudson Valley Wine Goddess or Exploring the Wine Glass will pop up as a podcast you would like. And that helps other people find us. So any and all reviews are greatly appreciated.
So I guess we'll see everybody next month when we go and talk about Zinfandel.
Yes, I'm excited because
I am too.
I already know I'm going to love my Zinfandel because I tasted it before I purchased it.
Oh, I didn't. I have, like I said, I have a vertical tasting I have not tasted.
All right.
Well, I might have to Corvan these, so.
Okay. And then I think, in all honesty, I think we might take a little break in September and regroup.
And regroup. In
Regroup
October for season 2.
For season 2 and see how we go about it. I'm thinking more regions than varieties, but Debbie and I will talk about that off mic.
Yeah, that might be a weekend that we need,
Yeah.
or a Jewish holiday if you have off and come down.
Yeah. So we might be taking September off to regroup and come up with season 2. So if you guys have any suggestions of how you would like to see season 2 get organized, please let us know. Oh yes, Michael, we will definitely be going through the alphabet again. We will be starting with A once again. I do know just off the top of my head that our first day was Albarino. We will not be doing Albarino.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, we will start all over again for season 2, A through Z again. So thank you.
Thank you all for joining us.
And being part of this for the past 25 months next month. Be 26. Yeah. So we will see you, Debbie. I don't know if you ever said the date.
Oh, what is the date? The date is August 19th.
All right. August 19th it is. And we will
we'll see everybody August 19th. Until then, have a fantastic summer. Michael, have a great time at your wine dinner.
Yes, enjoy your wine dinner.
And enjoy. Thank you, everybody. Cheers.